of course, everyone's talking about it, the COVID crisis. The recovery that the US and the EU are currently going through with the vaccination programs and allowing markets to reopen and the economies to reopen and life to return to, and I say this with air quotes, normal. How has this created or expanded the potential for the progress of, and this is a term you've used before, and if I can, I'll get you to explain it before we go too far down the road, a crack up boom. So with the reopenings of the global markets, how does the crack up boom hit on the horizon?
Well, I think the developments last year, basically seeing this everything bubble getting bigger and bigger, is already a strong sign that this crack up boom is happening. This term was coined by Ludwig von Mises, who wrote in his probably best and biggest work, Human Action. He wrote about this crack up boom, or in German we say Katastrophenhoss, which is a great description, which means that basically people are losing confidence in the purchasing power and the future purchasing power of paper money. And I think this is really what we're seeing. I mean, we talked about it before already. This boom in equity markets, in commodities, in the real estate market, in cryptocurrencies, in the art market, in Pokemon trading cards, whatever. It is just a sign that people are losing confidence in paper. And this is actually, of course, this is exactly what governments are, or what central banks keep telling us. We want and we need more inflation. Now that inflation is here, of course, it's only transitory. And they keep telling us that, we have to be patient. And I previously said in an interview that they must be listening to Guns N' Roses, because all we need is just a little patience. And but I think that's it's what's happening now, and I think it's interesting to see that nobody is realizing that this is really the beginning phase of this crack up boom, where markets are already telling us, well, people are losing confidence, where inflation numbers, even the official inflation numbers, are already rising significantly, and they're at levels 4 or 5%, of course, also due to the base effect and so on. But those levels clearly show that we are significantly above those 2% inflation targets. But still, everybody is telling us that it's transitory. So I think if we take a step back, I think as now the economies are now opening up, this will further increase inflationary pressures, because savings ratios will not return to pre-COVID-19 levels, but those savings which were basically forced upon citizens because of lockdowns will probably at least partially flow into the economy. So as the supply side is still affected by restrictions and kind of suffers from additional distortions, such as, we've seen it with the Suez Channel, for example, or all the ongoing containment efforts in some Chinese ports, the central bank's assessment, or let's say, shall we call it hope of a mere temporary increase of inflation rates, just seems unjustified. So I think Ludwig von Mises, if he would still be alive, he would say, well, this is a crack-up boom. This looks like a crack-up boom. This feels like a crack-up boom. And this, I think, is clearly being accelerated by what we called in the report. I've got the cover here of the printed copy. It's on its way to New Zealand, Michael.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it.
So this is, I think, further accelerated by this monetary climate change that we describe in the new Ingold We Trust report.
Yeah, and just to say that I'm not holding my breath for the arrival of the hard copies because freight globally at the moment is very, very broken.
And it's expensive.
Yeah,
it's very expensive. I
not
couldn't
what it
believe
was.
my eyes what they were charging us.
Yeah, I move gold around the world. You can imagine how that feels.
And it's also, one has to say,
so
it's getting complicated. So sorry for interrupting. I'm trying to book some flights to the US to attend conferences in September, and it really feels like this is like so much things to take care of and to prepare, and I think, you know, this is also telling me, well, I think it's going to be more expensive, more complicated, and at some point people will say, okay, then I'll just not do this conference, or I'll not do my vacation in Greece or whatever, just stay at home. But that's actually something that's that's definitely worrisome.
Yeah, I know. I traveled to Melbourne in Australia last month, and I filled out 5 different forms just to go to Melbourne, where once upon a time I didn't even really need to take a passport as much. Life has changed. Let's hope it doesn't change too much more, or gets better, improves. Let's go for improvement. Improvement sounds good to me at the moment.